Hi everyone, it's Kelly here from spiritualawakeningsigns.com, your guide to the spiritual awakening process. We've got an exciting video today. It's all about life purpose. So this is really everything that you need to know to be able to find, to recognise, to spot your life purpose, and also to be able to actually align with that energy so that you're moving into it. And I know that when we talked about this the other day, we even had questions where people were asking, do I even have a purpose? We're going to be covering all of that, including some of the signs that would indicate that you have a spiritual life purpose that you're here to fulfill. So we're going to be talking about all of that today. I would love to hear your questions, and I'll be doing a lot of answering as well. So please feel free to pop them in the comments box and I will answer them. I'm really looking forward to that. So as we begin today, we're going to go into all the life purpose stuff. Before I do that, I just want to let you know that our new Sacred Site series, St Columba Ascended Master Meditation, which will help you to find your life purpose, realign with that energy, and he's actually going to work with you and make shifts in your life to bring that into fruition. The early bird pricing ends tonight at midnight, so don't miss that. This is a special introductory offer to a whole new advanced level of energy healing that we're doing directly from an Ascended Master themselves, so it's really cool. And it's also filmed inside a hidden cave where St Columba lived for a while in the 6th century, so it's really mystical and really exciting. You'll be able to see some of the links. I'll be putting them up, the videos of inside the cave, and there's also something on the page where you can have a little sneak peek as well. So let's get started on life purpose. Feel free to say hello, let me know who you are, where you're from, what you're doing this afternoon, and let's get into life purpose. We'll be answering your questions. So I really want to begin by saying that life purpose is one of these things that I think spiritually, or certainly in the spiritual community, we've come to consider it to be an end destination. It's just a one-point destination. I've found it to be something slightly different. I've found it to be a constant unfolding of a pathway where there's lots of different exciting parts along that pathway. It's not really one particular end result. But what I will say is that it's a vital part of your ascension, and that the ascension pathway is a really difficult one. Ascension is a really, really difficult transition to go through. I don't know anybody that would dispute that. It's really challenging, but it kicks off this kind of inner questioning that comes up for us. This it's a purging, but it's also a just relentless inner questioning so that we can reclaim our power. We can discard all the things that don't serve us anymore, all the belief systems and all the constructs that we've made, the masks that we wear of who we are. And that's exasperating enough. But one question that does tend to come up over and over again is the question of, what is my life purpose? That is something that really comes up in a powerful way when you're going through awakening, because you start to become aware that there's a deeper meaning to everything, and you start awakening to the truth that your soul knows it's here to do something important. You might not know what that is, but your soul is here to do something very important. So I would like to be able to help you to really align with that, to be able to get onto that pathway, because that's really what we're all here to do. So, you know, awakening can really shake you to your core. It's an unveiling of all the falsehoods that we've been told, all the lies that we've been told, and it makes us question everything. And when we really get into it, like I said, our soul starts to recognise that we came here with a purpose. So let's talk about absolute basics. What does life purpose really mean? What does that actually mean? Well, your life purpose is the mission that you came here to Earth to complete. It is your promise to serve humanity. So really what generally happens is, if you think about before you incarnated here, way back before you incarnated, before birth, as spirits, what we've all done is we have committed to come to Earth and to live a lifetime, generally for three key reasons that we come. The first one is to learn and to grow, to develop through experience, through having relationships and experiences and interactions, and learning from that, cause and effect. The second reason that we come to be incarnated is to help the Earth. And the Earth is really struggling with a lot of chaos and conflict energy, so we promise to come to help uplift that. And third reason is to help humanity, because humanity are going through a lot of those same energies and same challenges, and there are templates that are created that keep us locked in patterns. They happen to us too, even as light workers. We get locked into patterns, and we're in a time now where spiritually, universally, there is really a commitment to uplift the vibration of the earth and of its inhabitants. And a lot of us have come from different planes and different frequencies, different vibrations to assist that. That's what we all came here to do. And that's particularly true if you're a spiritually minded person, because a lot of people actually ask, you know, do I have a life purpose? Is that what I came here to do? Of course you have a life purpose. Everyone has a life purpose, but it's just slightly different if you're on a spiritual pathway. So if you are a spiritually minded person, what I've tended to find through doing therapy sessions, intuitive healing on people, and I'm looking into their past lives, I'm connecting to their soul, that what really has happened is that we've all committed to come here. We've committed to come to help to uplift that vibration, and we might not remember what that is. We might not remember that promise, and we might not remember what it is that we really promised to come here to do. And sometimes not being able to fulfill that can cause what I call like a light worker's depression. It's like a deep sadness, a sense of failure, and a sense of being off track, where you're struggling and you're frustrated and you just can't seem to get back on track no matter what you do. That would usually be quite a big indicator. But let's go into some of the key indicators that would show that you have an important life purpose to fulfill. So here they are, we've got 8 of them. So the first one is a sense of urgency. See, when that feeling when you feel like you're running out of time. I had that for a number of years. It's like, I know I'm here, I know I'm supposed to do something, but I don't know what it is. And there's this kind of pressure on us to fulfill it. A feeling that you're way off track. So again, kind of having this sense of, I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but I don't know where I'm supposed to be, is a big indicator. Again, knowing that there's something that you're meant to do, but not quite knowing exactly what that is. A natural desire to help, to heal, or to lead others. That's a big one. For a lot of us on the spiritual pathway, we have this natural inclination to want to help. That would be a big sign that there's something in your soul that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people and you just haven't quite found it yet. And that's okay, because we'll get to that, don't worry. Unexplained depression or sense of failure, like I mentioned earlier. A strong draw towards spirituality, metaphysics, healing, or energy work, because we've all done it before. If you're doing it now, you've done it before. A longing for harmony and peace. So, you know, we are not used to these chaotic, hectic energies of earth, and it's really disturbing for us to be amongst that harsh energy. And we usually have a real willingness to try to create that harmony and peace here on earth. And a drive to take care of, to protect the environment, or to take care of animals and vulnerable people. So again, in that same energy, it's bringing the light, it's bringing help, bringing healing, wanting to serve in some way. That's really what life purpose is. It's that natural inclination that you've got something that you want to do, something that you want to fulfill. And it's really important to have that in your life and to feel that you've done the thing that's in your heart. So let's talk about when you don't know what your purpose is. So I'm going to go into this, and I'd be interested to know, for anyone who's watching the video, let me know if you know your life purpose, if you're struggling to find your life purpose, or any kind of questions or issues that you've got coming up around life purpose, because I'd love to hear them. So put them in the comments box, and I'll take a little bit of time at the end to talk to you and see if we can give you some help and guidance on that. So when you don't know what your purpose is, I know how urgent and confusing that can really feel, and I went through that for a number of years despite being on a spiritual pathway. So I had learned all these energy healing techniques, and I was doing a lot of intuitive work. I was doing angel readings and past life healing and working with all these different things. But even though I was on that spiritual pathway, I still felt that somehow I hadn't quite found my life purpose. And the truth is that I hadn't yet. This was the work I was supposed to do, working with people going through the same process of spiritual awakening and having this sight and doing all these different things. But I didn't realise that at the time. It's just, I had this sense, even though I was on a spiritual pathway, it's like, no, I've not quite found the thing yet, haven't found it yet. So it took a bit of effort to find that, and I'm going to talk about how you can do that towards the end of the video. But you know, it really, for me, it caused a lot of real low level depression. That depression was there for years and years and years, knowing that I was off track but not knowing how to realign, not knowing how to get back on track. Really, really difficult thing to do. So I knew that I was supposed to be here, and I knew that I had something to do, even though I couldn't find it no matter what I did. And a lot of other people thought that I was doing the right thing because I was doing all these spiritual things. But suddenly, one day, out of the blue, it absolutely hit me like a bolt of lightning. And I wrote and planned this entire website, all the different materials that we'd provide, all the different teachings that we would provide in about 20 minutes. It's not an exaggeration. A brief overview, obviously, but not an exaggeration. It literally hit me like a spark of light, and all of this information poured out. I couldn't write fast enough to capture it all. And when I got it all down on paper, it seemed so obvious. It was like, this is my life purpose. Of course it's my life purpose. But when you're on that pathway of constantly letting these things unfold and trying to find it, it just, you know, you're just not going to find it. It's not going to click that way until it's ready. Which kind of leads us to the next point. Divine timing versus taking action. Which one is it? That's the confusing thing. Because there's a right time when your purpose will come to you. There's a right time when everything will come into focus and it will begin to manifest, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take action. It doesn't mean that you should not take any movement towards your life purpose. And that can be tricky because the question is, well, what do I do? And we'll get to all of that, we'll talk about that. But you really need to meet the universe in that effort and in your intention and in your focus. And that's what really brings it all together. So you need to show the universe that not only are you ready, you're stable, very important, that you're able to fulfill your purpose and your mission, but also that you're willing to take the steps to actively work towards it. Okay, you need to show the universe that you're going to meet it. The universe doesn't like it when you go hands off. And I've tried that many times over my life, had all this guidance. My guides have told me this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And I've thought, great, it's just going to happen. I'll just wait, I'll let it happen. And then of course it's not manifested, and I've been like, I thought you said this was going to happen. And it's like, yeah, you have to meet us. You have to put the effort in on the physical to bridge these two worlds together. So really important that those two halves need to come together. You need to be in control of what you can control. But what you can do is you can start to clear out any energetic blocks, any obstacles that might be in the way that are holding you back on your journey, so that the path's as clear as possible to begin with. And that means that you're doing everything that you can to really bring it into your current reality and lift away any unnecessary roadblocks that might get in the way. And it also shows the universe that you're creating the space for it, you're realigning with that vibration, you're putting your intention out. And that's where we talk about the law of attraction coming back to you. It's like you have to try to move in the rough direction of it, even if you don't really know what it is. It's like, okay, I know it's spiritual. Okay, so what can I do? Well, maybe I can read some books, maybe I can take a class, you know, maybe I can do some meditations. It's even though you don't know the end destination, start to take some steps just, you know, in that rough arena, and it'll start to unfold for you. And there's a lot of reasons why we hold ourselves back in relation to our life purpose, and we're going to cover that in one of the next articles, because there's a lot of past life issues that actually cause us to be unable to step into our purpose, and that's really important as well. So we'll be covering that in the next couple of articles. So I'm just going to address a question that we've got, a comment that we've got from Tiana, who says, that's where I'm at right now. I'm doing the work so I can figure out who I am and what I'm supposed to do, and it'll come. It will come. This is the time where you really need to go within. This is the time where you really need to discover who you are, and it starts to shift. It's not just about who you are in daily life anymore. It's not just about who you are in relation to your family or your friends, or, you know, who you are in your work. It's about connecting to that higher part of yourself, because it's the part that's really driving. It's really the part that's trying to lead you to that important life purpose path. So you need to give it the space to do that. So you're doing everything that you can. That's it. Connect to yourself, discover who you are. And the simplest way to do that is just follow what interests you. Follow your interests, follow your likes, follow the things that really inspire you and really excite you. Get into the things that are interesting to you, and that's what's going to allow your life purpose to unfold. Because the thing that most people don't realise about life purpose is, it is your greatest joy. It is your greatest joy. It's not going to be something that's a real drag. It's going to be something that really lights you up inside, because that energy is the vibration that you are sending out into the universe and connecting with the people around you. So find the thing that lights you up inside. That's the important part of this, to really align with your life purpose. So I also want to talk about the universe needs you. The universe needs you. Your success is absolutely paramount to the collective commitment that I was talking about, where we agreed to assist Gaia to uplift the energy of humanity. Okay, the universe wants you to do this as soon as humanly possible. Okay, and humanly is really the key point there. But that's why we're all buckling under the pressure of being shifted into 5D vibration, because we can't handle it, and it creates terrible symptoms and ascension, awakening symptoms that are really difficult to deal with. But there is help on the other side. You're not alone in this. There is help. There are ascended masters who have successfully blazed the same trail before us on their own life purpose journeys, and they're ready to help us to clear the blocks and the obstacles, give us the strength and the support that we need, because we're largely here alone, and that's really tough as a light worker and a spiritual person. And they're here to give us the healing and the activations that we need to be able to complete the task, to step into our life purpose, to do the work that we're here to do, that is also going to be our bliss and our greatest joy. So they were a part of that collective mission when they lived in their lifetimes. These ascended masters have already done their part, so they want to continue to be part of that. They want to continue that mission, so they want to see us succeed. But the challenge comes in reaching the energy of those ascended masters. So it's definitely something that you can tune into, but it's quite difficult when you're in the midst of awakening, because you've got so much else going on. You're struggling with all the shifts and the changes that are coming along, and it takes time and practice to make that psychic link with ascended masters or other beings, other vibrations that you would like to work with. And the challenge with that is that there are certain things that you need to receive, but your gifts are all being recalibrated at the moment, and it can be really difficult. I actually meditated for about 2 hours every single day for 4 years 4 years to get to the type of level where I could really tune in easily and quickly, and to open my vibration enough that it was easy for me to not only locate but to directly receive energy healing from these ascended masters. It's definitely something that we can all do, but if you have to practice for 4 years, it's going to take too long, and I'm sure that you're eager to step into your purpose right now. Now, I'm not saying don't do that. Definitely practice your meditation, definitely make the effort to open up your psychic senses, but be gentle with yourself and know that there are probably some activations and healings that you need to be able to do that even more clearly than you're able to do it at the moment. It will continue to improve. So do these things alongside each other, okay? So I want you to know, like I said, you can connect with Ascended Masters too, and you don't need to do it under the same strain of time that I took. You don't need to take 4 years. I can tell you from experience it was a lot of unnecessary strain, but that's really what I'm working with now. So my guides have led me to some sacred sites of energy, and they're recruiting help and involvement from light workers and ascended masters who have already been here. They've already done their mission, they've already done their task, but they still want to help. So my guides are putting us in connection with these ascended beings on their behalf, and the meditations that we're creating now are going to open your energy to the level required for you to be able to receive the healing, to connect to the ascended master or the source that we're working with, and to absorb those beneficial and necessary shifts that are required to help you move forward on your journey, and to appropriately ground you afterwards, because that's really important. I made a lot of mistakes early on trying to connect to things and not knowing if it was trustworthy, and sometimes connecting to the wrong thing, and sometimes being ungrounded afterwards and feeling awful. Well, these meditations are really a way to guide you through all of that, so you don't have to struggle with it yourself. You can continue to improve your development, all your psychic skills, your intuitive abilities, but allow the Ascended Master to give you the healing and the activations that are needed to help you move forward, because they've already done it. That's the benefit. They've already walked this path before us, and they know how hard it is. So you don't need to go searching. It's absolutely safe to use to connect into this, and it's going to give you a direct link to the high vibrational power, whether it's a source or an Ascended Master, that's going to continue to support you in your journey. So that's what I found, is that when you work with these Ascended Masters, they don't just work with you once and then dump you. They are committed, and when you connect to them, there's probably a reason why you're connecting to them. You've probably been connected to them before in another lifetime or on a spiritual plane, and there's a kind of draw to them. That's why they stand out to us. That's why they show up. You know, Ascended Masters are the type of thing where you spot images of them, or you see an angel card, or like our meditations are coming up, something to do with them starts to pop out and starts to speak to you, because that Ascended Master is speaking to you. They're saying, I've got this for you and I'd like to help you. And it's up to you. It's an invitation. You don't have to take it. It's an invitation for you to give them permission to assist you in your life and on your life purpose path. So it's really powerful, and the stuff that we've been creating more recently at these sacred sites is the first energy healing of its kind. I am so excited about it. It's completely different, and the reason that I tell you these Ascended Masters won't just work with you once and dump you is I've got an interesting story. So we went to this sacred site of St Columba, and he was an Irish missionary who spread divine love and light around 6th century Britain. So you can imagine how dark and dense it was at that time. He really fought the odds to bring that energy to us. And we ended up in his cave, and it's hidden in the Scottish Highlands. It's just a tiny little cave where he lived, meditated, prayed, all those kind of things while he was on this spiritual pilgrimage. We went there and we recorded the meditation, which was incredibly powerful. I mean, I saw an orb right in front of my face. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I certainly saw it right in front of my face while we were recording. I could really feel his energy. It was a much greater power than I was expecting. My guides did not prepare me for that. But afterwards, interestingly, I recorded the life purpose meditation. So these are two that can go together. And when I recorded it just recently, I'm doing the meditation. It's really got nothing to do with St Columba, because this is a separate meditation, even though it's still about life purpose. And the images that are coming into my mind, I'm being shown doves, all these white birds and beautiful wings and lovely feathers, and you know, I'm like, okay, doves and birds, and what's this all about? And when I started to do some research on St Columba, I found out that his name in Scottish and Irish literally translates to church dove. So that was really meaningful for me, because it was like, okay, we've been to your cave, we've done the work, and we've given what you needed to give, but he was still working. He was still working with me and working with all of you who are using these meditations like months later. So it was really touching, and it really reassured me that they are dedicated. These guides want to help you, and they will if you invite them, but you have to invoke them. And that's really what these meditations are all about. That healing's there for you, and it's entirely up to you if you choose to invite them into your space. So the reason I mention that is because I don't know how I would have found my purpose or managed to align with it, or really gotten through the awakening process without the spiritual assistance that I've had from my guides. I just don't know how I would have done it. I feel that for a spiritual path, you need some sort of spiritual leader. You need some sort of higher force from a higher plane to really guide you, and you need to be connected to it. You need to give yourself quiet space and time where you can really actively listen to the messages that you're being given, and it's not always that easy. It's not always that easy to quieten the mind. It's not always that easy to tune into whatever force you want to tune into. So that's what we're doing for you now. The guides have created this transaction between us and the Ascended Master, And really all I'm doing is making the space to bring it through in a format that you can tune in and listen to it, and you can gain all the benefits and the connection of these Ascended Masters. It's really, really exciting. I'm so excited to do more. So if you have any questions about life purpose, please put them in the comments box, live or otherwise, and I will give you any assistance that I can. I'll help with you. I'll stay a little few minutes on the video just to take any questions now, and there are no silly questions, so please feel free to ask whatever's on your mind to do with life purpose. And I'll tell you a little bit about the meditations. So if you want some help with that, we've got two different resources that you can use to help you with your life purpose. So the first one just now, is, as I was saying, is our brand new, never before seen, advanced level energy healing meditation. I can't explain to you how potent this energy is. I've never worked with anything like it in my life. It's absolutely palpable. And it's channeled directly from St Columba's cave, this ancient sacred cave that was hidden in the Scottish Highlands. And it's available until Friday. Now it's important that you know, you don't have to know who St Columba is or was, although I will be sharing some information on that, in order to gain benefit from him. You just need to know that he's a light worker, very, very ascended being, was capable of miracles, and even banished a water beast apparently to the River Ness. So you know, we talk about the Loch Ness Monster. There's all these interesting connections to that. Apparently this was a miracle that he performed. He saved someone. So he's a really cool guy, but you don't need to know all these details about who he is to gain benefit from his energy and his power. But he's all about life purpose. So that meditation in particular is going to help you to experience that powerful, potent, ancient sacred site in the Scottish Highlands. Obviously from the comfort of your own home, you'll get to see around the cave, and it's lit by beautiful candlelight, so it's really peaceful. It's really wonderful. You get to connect to the Ascended Master St Columba and invoke his help and his guidance. You get to shore up the strength and bravery that's required, because he had a lot of bravery, to move forward no matter what. He's going to help you to do that, to see past the blocks, the obstacles and the illusions that are coming up, because he certainly saw past them all and just went for his goal no matter what. Express your creative gifts and talents, and follow your bliss and fulfill your purpose and joy, which is the whole point of all of this. So you really need to invoke him to allow him to start to make changes in your life and to give you signs. And I know I've been seeing signs since I worked with him, so I think he's a real untapped resource that has come through specifically for us in the Awakening Pathway, which is wonderful. So the meditation is where you can experience the sacred Scottish site that we visited, connect to the high vibrational power of Ascended Master St Columba, and fulfill your life purpose and joy. And if you don't know what this is, it's kind of like a cross between a guided meditation and an intuitive energy healing, but the difference is you're not getting an intuitive energy healing from me, you're getting it from an Ascended Master, and the Ascended Master is St Columba himself, and it's recorded in the cave that he lived in, at a beautiful stone altar with all these lovely little coins and gifts and offerings at it. It's just so tranquil and beautiful. And it's pre-recorded video with healing, clearing and energetic adjustments. It's calm and relaxing, so it's a bit like a meditation, and it's done under 20 minutes. So really powerful, whole new level, really excited to see where these take us, and I know they've created big shifts in my life, so take a little look. The early bird pricing ends tonight at midnight, so don't miss that. If you're just new to it, get in there and get the introductory offer, because it's just wonderful, and you'll use it again and again. He is not going to leave you. He is going to be with you and by your side, and I'm confident that you'll get signs. You'll see things stand out, whether it's to do with Scottish or Irish signs, or you'll see something to let him know. Doves, you'll see something, I know you will. It's really exciting. So again, any questions about life purpose, pop them in the comments box, and I'll take a moment to answer them at the end. No matter what it is, feel free to ask. And then the other resource that we've got for you right now is the life purpose meditation. So it's going to help you to align with your life purpose path, resolve any past lives where you've been unable to fulfill your mission. So this is where we're really healing the wounds, the past life wounds that have been created through our lifetimes where we were harmed for being a healer, a leader, an intuitive, things of those nature, or being attacked, of course. Releasing the fear of using your power again, your healing abilities and your intuitive gifts. Learning to take care of yourself, protecting yourself, and to use your gifts responsibly, which is the whole point of why we went through what we went through before. And reopening any intuitive gifts and abilities that you've suppressed or shut down. We tend to do that when we've been through these painful lifetimes. We decide that it's too dangerous to have these, and we just shut them down and suppress them, and come into lifetimes where sometimes we don't even believe in a higher force. We're so disconnected, we don't realise we have any gifts or abilities at all. Well, they're coming back now. So that meditation can really help you to start to access those gifts and abilities again and move back into that energy, just realigning you. If you want a double whammy, you can use them together. So in that case, you're calling in St Columba, getting his help and assistance, clearing blocks and obstacles, and getting signs and synchronicities, messages from him. He's going to lead you forward. And then you're clearing the past life pain, and that's all the soul level stuff that holds you back. It creates struggle and problems in your life. So if you use them together, you are life purpose good. You're doing really great, and you've got it all sorted. So I'll give just another little minute or two. Any questions, please feel free to ask, whether it's live or otherwise. And also, guys, remember, you can hit the little bell so that you get notified every time we do a live video. Don't miss them, because we're going to be doing quite a few this week. And I would love for you guys to join us and to ask your questions, because I love connecting with you guys, and I know how tough it is on the life purpose path. So I want to be able to give you my help and assistance. So any questions, pop them in the comments box. I'll give just one more minute. So again, those meditations are available now. Early bird pricing ends at midnight, so just a few hours for the life purpose St Columba meditation. This is like the gold level standard. We've never done anything like this before. And they are both available until Friday, and I will put links in the comment box as well if you want to check them out. There's some trials. There's a trial for the life purpose one and the St Columba one, and there's also a video where you can get a sneak peek inside the cave. So even if you're not interested in the meditation, you should have a look, because it is just so cool, and I'd really like to go back. Actually, it was really fun. Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions, guys, so I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or any questions, please just submit them in a comment, and I will answer them afterwards. Remember to hit that bell so that you get a notification every time we're live. And thank you so much for watching. I send you all the best vibes for fulfilling your own life purpose and following your bliss and living in joy. So have a good day.